All right, yes, Mr. Zarma Mustafa joins us next. He is the Deputy National President of IPMAN, one of the players in that sector. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chamberlain.
Well, the lawmaker are almost frustrated, just like several Nigerians, with all of these excuses that players give us as to why we can't just get that product to use on a regular basis, consistently, uninterrupted. So now, we also see today fuel price adjusted to 185 naira per litre to please marketers, the Daily's report. So what is going on in the sector? First, why don't we have this product? Will this fuel price make this product available now?
Well, the fact of the matter is we are in a very complex situation. Why I said we are in a complex situation is the burden of subsidy that government is carrying is no more sustainable. And the volume that the NNPC, which is the sole importer of the petroleum product, that is PMS, for now, have been hitting hard on the paucity of the force of the government. Because of that, the supply that we receive as marketers at the loading point, we believe we don't get what we usually get, even 50% of what we get.
Of the products?
Of the product. Somewhere in July, August, the volume of liftings we had and what we have today has dropped with about 50%. Or 40%.
What has that got to do with subsidy, which you say is not sustainable?
Well, we are just assuming maybe the volume of the product they are bringing in, and the more the volume, the more the cost of the subsidy.
Yeah, but it's not making sense that if you're bringing in more, you're getting less to pick up from the NNPC.
Then it doesn't seem that they are bringing in more. If they are bringing in more, we'll be having the same volume that we usually get at the loading point.
So wait. Does IPMAN think that they are bringing more, as they say?
As at today, with what is trending in the private depots, the volume available is not enough.
So the scarcity is from the private depots?
Yeah, the private depots also contribute by not giving the product as it is being regulated by the NP.
Is it private depots or the NNPCL who are the sole importers?
NNPC is the sole importer, and they distribute it to private depots because they don't have enough facilities at the coastal site that will enable them distribute it to the retail marketers through trucking to be distributed across the country.
Yeah, but there are two different things. Bringing in the products. So if they have a lot of those products, we believe we will have it. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
So at the moment, they are not bringing in enough of this product.
I assume. I have not had any official statement from the importers, that is the NNPC or the regulatory body, that they have not enough supplies. But with the look of things in what is going on at the loading point, the product is not enough as they usually bring in, supply it to the private depots, and we purchase from the private depots.
So it clearly means the product is not there. Because if it's there and they're not loading it, it means they're hoarding.
Well, it's not possible for you to have a product in your depot and hoard it. It's not possible.
Okay, so if you don't have it,
it's exhausted. Yeah, it's exhausted, and it's the volume that is supposed to be lifted by independent major marketers and all the other retail marketers is not enough.
So, okay.
I am a little interested in the... I want to go back to the excuses, you know, the motion moved by the honorable member on the floor of the House a few days ago. I want to talk about some of the excuses, because this has been happening, as you know, at least here in Abuja, since mid-last year when the country experienced the flooding. other parts of the country maybe for way longer. And then after we went through the floods, we understood that there was a transport problem. You know, the price at which marketers were picking up or were, you know, lifting the product was not sustainable because it was not factoring in the increasing cost of transportation.
Sure.
And you know, there was a back and forth between themselves and the regulators, and I think they eventually called a truce. And we saw that, you know, things improved for a bit. And then now we've seen this again. It's been on and off for a while. In the papers today, we're saying that another price adjustment is being approved. If this is really about how much the NNPC is bringing in, whether or not the product is available at the depots, as you say, what exactly is this price adjustment which we're seeing in the papers?
Well, the price adjustment was brought in by the regulatory bodies in conjunction and discussions with the petroleum marketers. And the details on why the price was adjusted to the new current price, I think the details is best going to be addressed by the regulatory body to the public.
Yes, but what are the marketers asking for? You are part of the marketers. I know that recently new major marketers were approved. There's been some kicking from MOMAN, the Association of Major Marketers. In fact, they said they're not going to recognize those marketers. But you are a member of another body, IPMAN. What exactly, from your perspective, are marketers asking for that the regulator is looking at and saying, okay, we will adjust prices a bit?
Well, the fact of the matter, Murphy, is last time I said it on this platform that the whole concept of importation is not sustainable. We need to look in ways and see how best we can be able to produce our needs locally.
Tell us what exactly is not sustainable in it.
Why it's not sustainable is, if you look at the population growth of this country, and the demand for transportation and petroleum needs, the rate at which is growing is not something you can continue to sustain it through importation without having developing our local refining capacity to satisfy our needs. Because importation itself brings a lot of challenges as when, how, and how consistent the supply chain is going to be sustained. Or if we have it locally and we have all our refineries producing, maybe transporting it through the pipeline to all the 21 depots across the country, I believe is going to solve the whole issue of on and off scarcity in the country. If we cannot be able to develop the local refining capacity, I don't think the situation can be resolved once and for all. I said it last time. This on and off scarcity is going to continue until when we develop our own refineries to satisfy the needs of petroleum products from the citizenry.
Some people will argue that perhaps what you're referring to, yeah, importation is not ideal for a country that, you know, has this resource in abundance. I mean, it's ridiculous as a matter of fact. However, you know, some people will say that perhaps what is most unsustainable about this is the fact that we are paying subsidies on it. Maybe it's the subsidies that you'll be referring to. But I'm particularly curious because the question I asked you was about the pricing. We're seeing a price adjustment again between the regulator and marketers. What exactly is that adjustment about?
As I said, I believe it is the regulatory body that is supposed to make a policy statement on that.
You don't want to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it.
Why don't you want to talk about it?
I don't want to go into an issue that I'm not supposed to talk about for now.
Is it that the marketers are still not satisfied, or is it that it's still a...
It is all about the challenges of the cost. The cost of bringing in the product to the retail outlet is not going to be achievable at the former price. With all sense of justification, and I believe the regulatory body were convinced and they agreed to raise it up to that amount. All right, the details of why and how, I think the regulatory body should answer
So this pricing adjustment to appease the marketers, what difference does it make?
It's not only to appease the marketer.
But that's what
it is being done to make sure the supply chain is being sustained. So, because the marketers are all, although they are Nigerians and they are offering services in terms of needs of petroleum product, but they are also in business.
Okay, I hear you.
If you can be able to go and lift a product, come and retail it, and you are not making any returns, okay, I don't think anybody will continue doing that.
All right, we hear you. So what difference does it make?
As it relates to?
The price of the product that we buy, we consumers.
The difference, the difference in price, are you referring to the difference in the price?
Yeah.
I think there is an increase of about 10 naira or 15 naira from 179 to, I think, 185 or 190 today in Abuja.
Well, yes, in Lagos, they are buying for 250 in different places, for over 250 in some cases.
In Maiduguri, they are buying for 290, 300.
So what does this do to anything?
We are in a state of very dicey situation.
Can you tell us? I mean,
let me come in here.
Yeah.
NNPC imports, distributes it to private depots. We independent marketers don't have the depots. As I'm talking to you today, yesterday, I bought a product in Lagos in a depot at 247 naira per liter to be transported down to Far North at the cost of 50 to 60 naira per liter.
So from the depots themselves?
From the depots themselves.
247
naira.
Not 195 naira? Or
no, not at all.
All these fancy prices that we're seeing?
Not at all. So the complexities, even ourselves as independent marketers, we don't really understand what's really happening. The regulatory bodies, we raise our complaints. We have told them this is what is going on. They should address this matter. We are supposed to get this product at 148 naira, but we are buying it at 220. It's just going up, 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 up. As at yesterday, it is going for about 240 naira in Lagos, 235 naira in Warri, 240 naira in Port Harcourt. In Calabar, it's as high as 250 naira per liter. As a marketer, you'll buy that product for upward transmission to where your retail outlet is. You transport it yourself.
Wow.
There are a lot of confusion in the industry, which I believe the government should come in and see how best this whole confusion is being resolved and an affordable price is being achieved so that the common man can get the product at the approved price. We cannot buy a product at 220, 230, 240 naira. You pay for transportation. For example, if you take it to Kano, you pay about 50 naira transportation. Although your government is going to reimburse you for the transportation through the NPDPR. But
which used to be PEF.
Yes, the PEF, the former defunct PEF. But if you drop the product and sell it at that 195 or 210 naira, that the current new price that was issued to Abuja, Kano's price is a little bit higher than what is obtainable here in Abuja. But the price they gave in Kano is 220 naira. And you are buying the product at 247 naira. You pay 50 naira to transport it. That's around 300 naira per liter. How do you expect that marketer to sell that product at 220 naira?
There are still so many questions about subsidy.
It's not realizable.
Even if they remove the subsidy, what happens to those equalization fund, which has now changed? Will it still work? So let's bring in our colleagues first of all, before we go any further. Go ahead, guys.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Let me just ask you straight away, Mr. Fahmi. You've spoken about the complexities of prices. Just to be clear, has there been a formal increment in the price, in the pump price, from what you know?
There has not been any formal increment to the best of our knowledge. So no one has spoken to us and no one has directed us formally that there is an increase of price of petroleum product.
But there are indications that there could have been, because from what you're saying, you're not getting the product at the prices you normally get them from the very sources that you're supposed to get them?
Yes, with what is on ground, I said formally, with what is on ground, what is physically on ground in the industry, there is. But it's not a formal thing that we have any correspondence with the regulatory body or the marketers.
But there are those who are saying that there have been some form of covert, communication to, I don't know whether it's MOMAN or to your body, IPMAN, or whichever other body. So you're saying that there is no letter from any government authority to the effect of an increase in pump price?
Not to our knowledge.
Okay. But you also said now that you got
as
this...
marketers...
Yes, go ahead.
Not to our knowledge. As marketers, we are in business. You cannot go and buy a product at 247 naira and come and sell it lower than what you bought it after bearing the cost of transportations and other logistics.
I asked that question, Mr. Mustafa.
Anywhere in the world.
Yes, I asked that question against the backdrop of like 2 or 3 headlines on the front pages of the newspapers this morning that's saying that prices may have been increased from 165 to 185 naira per liter, even though in most places people get it for much higher than that. So that's the reason I'm asking that question. I'm sure you must have seen the papers as well.
Yes, that's what is happening across the nation. But practically what we have, just like I said, we don't even get the product at the depot at that 185 you're talking. We don't get it at all.
No more questions for the NNPC then. If they're bringing in this product, why go to private depots? Do you have your depot? How much you sell from your depot? Do you sell at the official price from your depot? And if you're the sole importer, should other people also import the product? Why? There's so many questions, but we have to let it go at this point in time. Zaman Mustafa, Deputy National President of IPMAN, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much, Chamberlain.